In this video, I'm going to show you how to do several things. It's going to go by fast, so keep up, pay attention. First off, I want to go into the Site Manager and demonstrate the idea that in 000 web hosts, I've already set up my site, but I wanted to show you that under servers, if I double click on my server that I had already added, this should look like your 000 web host server name, FTP address. It's whatever it is for you. There's a username and password, and your root directory, if you don't already know this by now, should be public_HTML. That's just the way that they do things at 000 web host. Here's my web URL. You need to fill that out correctly. If I save this information, normally this testing box here is not checked. However, I do want it checked. It becomes my testing server so that when I F12 my files, F12 is preview in the browser, the page that comes up will actually be the live page on my site. What Dreamweaver does is it will push the page up to your server. It will probably prompt you with a dialog asking you if that's what you want to do, and then it will put your page up, and then it will launch that page. So that's one thing that you can do that'll help us. Here I am in Dreamweaver, and today what we're going to do is work on server-side includes. And since 000 web hosts uses PHP pages, that's hypertext preprocessor pages, that's a common scripting language these days. It's an open source type of platform and a competitor to ASP VBScript. That's a Microsoft product. It's a Microsoft scripting language. But here's PHP. We're going to create a new PHP page. And I'm going to go ahead and automatically save it under my week 9 folder. And I'll just call it index.php. Save. Now, look at this page. There's nothing different about it than any of the other pages that we've worked with. But it does have a PHP extension, so the server, when somebody requests the page, will now know, since it has a PHP extension, that it might contain some PHP script in it. Here's what we're going to do. We're going over to the 3-column liquid layout. If I can find it. I believe it's under float tutorial. 3-column liquid layout, all steps combined, and we're going to shortcut this by copying and pasting all the code. So here's all my cascading style sheet code. And you've already done this, so you should understand this code and what it does. I'm going to go up here into code view and create a style. And paste all of that CSS, and I'm coming back and I'm going to grab all the HTML code and paste it into the body. Here's what my page looks like. There are some images that I need to grab. Oh, not for this one. We're going to leave it just like this. That's how my page looks. That's great. And I can change this header to server side includes. All right. The next thing that I'm going to do is go back into the code view and externalize my cascading style sheet code. I decided after I got this built and tested it that I did not want this cascading style sheet code to be embedded. I want to cut it out and delete the style tags. So I did a cut, and now I'm going to go to File, New, and Blank Page, CSS. Great. And I can delete what's at the top, and I'm only pasting my cascading style sheet code into this document. I save it. Where am I going to save it? Well, I'm in my week 9 folder. I'm going to go and create a CSS folder, and I will save it there. and I'm going to call it styles.css. Save. And I'm going to close my styles.css file. Back in my index.php, I need to link to that file. So let's do that. I'm going to do that through the interface right here. CSS styles panel. Link. There's a little attached style sheet link, chain link. I'm going to click on that and choose browse. And I'm already in my CSS folder. Let's make sure I'm in the right one. Yeah, that's right. Week 9 CSS. Styles.css. And the screen type, I'm sorry, the media type, I'm going to choose screen. There it is. And nothing should change in this page. It should look exactly like it did before. But now I'm linked to a style sheet. Now, just like we can link to a style sheet, we can also link to other files to pull content in. And it's called the server-side include. We're going to include a file on the server. When somebody asks for this file, we're going to include another file. In other words, we're going to store some of this HTML file that we're looking at in other places. So watch carefully. Here is a division. Let's look and see what it looks like in the code. Ah, it's the left nav. So look at all this left nav code that's highlighted. What if I did a cut on it and I just got it cut out? And I went ahead and said file new, so I want to make a new page, and I choose other and text. So I'm going to make a new text page. I'm going to paste all that code that I cut out, and I'm going to save it. Let's go up a level. Here's my week 9. I'm going to create a new folder called SSI. And inside the SSI folder, I'm going to save this left nav.ssi. And I'm going to close it. And then I'm going to link to it. Insert, server-side include, left nav.ssi. And that's what the PHP code looks like when you include a file that's an external file. And look at here's the top. Here's the top division. Maybe you have some special banner up in the top. I just put the word server-side includes in an H1, but what if you had something else up there? You could externalize it as well. Why don't we just cut it? I'm using a Control X to cut it. And I'm going to create a new file. It's a text file. Paste my code, save my code in the SSI folder as top.ssi, and close my folder. What else do we have in here? There's a right navigation. Opening and closing divs. Let's grab that. Oh, look at what I forgot to do. I might want to include my external file for the top banner. There it is. Okay, now let's grab my right nav, cut it, file, new, text file, paste, save. What was this called? Right nav. .ssi. Close, link to a server-side included file. Right nav. Content. Here's my content division. Opens there. Stops here. I'm going to cut it. I'm going to create a new text file and paste it and save it and call it content.ssi. Close it, link to it, and finally my footer. here is my footer in case I had a custom footer. X, Control X for cut. File, new, text file, paste, save, footer, dot, SSI. Close it, link to it. Okay, now look at how my page looks. Isn't this so much cleaner? Let's look at it in design view. It looks the same, at least Dreamweaver will display it the same. Now here's the interesting thing. Let's go back to the code view. It just looks a lot cleaner. Alright, now here's the advantage. Let's say that I'm using the same top navigation. It's a little, let's say a kite image banner for 100 or 1,000 pages. Well, guess what? If every one of those pages has the same file included, it's very easy for me to open up this one page and make a change. So that's the power here of a server-side include. I can make a change in one page that affects hundreds or thousands of pages. Here's the design view again. Let's go ahead and take this whole week 9 folder and push it up to the server. And if I click on this index.php and I hit F12, it gets pushed up to the server and my real file launches. You can't see it on my URL, but this is my real live file because I've set up a testing server. So this is server-side includes. Now imagine that, like I said, I had several pages based on that we're using the server-side includes header. Let's say that I want to change that across the board. I can do that. Let me go into my SSI file, top SSI, and I can just quickly make that change and save it, and every page that was linked to it would now be updated. So it's very, very powerful. So what I'm wanting you to do in this assignment is take your Hilltop Kite Festival or your 3-column liquid layout or your 2-column liquid layout, and I want you to take all of the divisions that make sense to out and turn them into server-side includes.